Measure JJJ, Los Angeles, California's Affordable Housing and Labor Standards Initiative. This is in favor of enacting an initiative to impose minimum affordable housing requirements, training standards, labor and wages regulations on development projects requiring zoning changes, including provisions to require a certain percentage of labor come from local workers. So this is kind of dope in the sense that what they're saying is that any developments that are going on within the city, if they're building more than 10 units, it would require that a certain percentage of those units be made available for low-income housing. Initially, I was like, that's a great idea. They were saying they would incentivize these programs and projects near freeways and stuff like that. It would help afford them access to jobs if they have limited means of transportation. But what's friggin' crazy about it is I was like, oh, this sounds like a great program. You'll be employing people. What's crazy is it says a certain percentage. There's no specific percentage. There's no regulation on how they would hire locals. Programs like these have been implemented before, and these construction companies do not abide to these laws. When you go back and look into the records, they're not hiring locally. They're basically hiring the same contractors, and this is just another method of creating projects to guarantee contractors a certain amount of money within a year. That's all this really is. It is not for the betterment of California's economy. It is not truthfully to create equal and fair housing. No, this is actually so construction companies can make more money. There are so many loopholes in this measure. I mean, for one, it kind of gives council the ability to set the standard for what is considered eligible for low-income housing and how low-income housing is actually defined. In the event that the developers decide that they don't think it's a good idea to make a certain percentage of these properties, they can actually pay a fee. They'll say, hey, I'm going to pay a fee so that I can override the law on this one. And they've got the world famous good faith clause on hiring local employees. In good faith, we're going to hire 6 or 7, but in real good faith, we ain't hiring none, okay? But then it has this other clause that takes the Affordable Housing Trust Fund and makes it so that you can take certain funds and allocate it to things other than what it was intended for. I'm telling you, man, they are slick, they are tricky. You got to watch these big developers, these big construction companies. I'm just keeping it 100. Hell, I myself am a co-owner in student housing, but just keeping it 100, yo, construction companies and these developers are some unethical folks who have mastered the art of politics. So this is another one of those tricky ballots I, for one, am voting against, because despite how it looks on the surface, the people who need this money, the people who need this housing will never see it. That's my personal opinion. I will take the heat for that one.